Hey everyone, Neil from EpicFlow.io here with a week 3 update. Had a good week last week. It's about 1% gain, and we're starting to see our positions load up for the next series of exits. So we'll go over the exits this week, take a look at the live account and the emails that we got for the summary for last week, etc. I will also walk through how this platform, when you're in Account AutoPilot mode, manages your risk and margin. We'll go over a little bit on the new website because I would love everyone to follow along. You can create your demo account. It's free to set up. It's simulated money and there's no limitation. It works just like it does with live, so you can track with me as we're on this journey. Hit that subscribe button and you will get notified when there's a new update, which I'll do weekly. And again, if something interesting happens during the week, we'll go over that as well. All right, let's get to it. Okay, today is Monday, January 12th, 2026. And let's just take a look at what's happened over the last week. We can see we had a number of exits. Every one of these bump ups on the green line is our balance growing. So when we exit, that profit, that gain from that exit will get added onto our balance. So nice healthy run this past week. And you're going to see a little bit of a difference between this week and the week in the emails because they're not quite aligned. This one's starting on January 5th. The week before was the 2nd to the 9th. For the week. So we're going to start following along with the weekly emails. It's a little easier to track that way than trying to find the right date on the chart. However, we see this big dip here on our NAV. This happened yesterday when the news came out from the Federal Reserve Chair, when Jerome Powell released the statement regarding the Department of Justice investigation into the Federal Reserve. So these news alerts that come out, these tweets from the president, etc., cause the market to react. And what's interesting is, if you remember from last week, the positions were relatively unloaded. What that means is we had like one order or two orders. And what we're seeing now, as we can look at, say, our EuroCAD here, we can see that it's has a considerable amount of orders based off of the margin used and the minimum expected profit. So if we dig into this current run, we can see we're currently at 20 orders. So again, when the price moves against you, this is a short, so it's inverse graph from what you're typically used to. But when the price moves against your position, we will load up. We will keep buying orders and bringing this average price up in this case, or down if it was in a long. And we can see the same thing happening in other positions like the USD CHF. We can see this one, this has 9 orders. It will go down and to the right as we buy more. So each of these open buy orders that we have has brought down that price. So this last week, if we go to our email and look at the live weekly summary from the 2nd to the 9th, we can see we've had a number of exits. So the Australian Swiss franc had 3, EuroCAD had 1, Euro USD had 6. We finally exited on the New Zealand Swiss franc, and that terminated that bot, and it started the USD Canadian, and that one itself had 5 exits. And USD Swiss franc also had a number. So we had 23 exits last week, which contributed to a $503 return, which was just shy of 1% gain in a week. So healthy return. Not every week is like that, but there's more and more volatility happening with news alerts, et cetera. Last week, we had the unemployment report, number of job reports, et cetera, that helped create that volatility, which created exits. So we're kicking off this week a pretty heavily loaded system, just primed, all within striking distance of exits. So we'll just keep letting it run and let the system do its work. It's also important to note that we have increased our margin use. So we're using about 7% of our margin on our account on Awanda. And if we take a look for the last 3 weeks since we've created this account, we've had, just shy of a 1.7% return. I'll be back next week with the first month update. So hopefully we'll cross the 2% gain for that month, and if not more, and we just let this keep running. And we've also updated our main website. So if you're looking to get started and follow along with me, feel free to just go to epicflow.io, read through this, get an understanding of how it works, what type of trading modes there are. And if you want to, sign up for the demo. Again, 100% free. We'll never charge for the demo. It's not limited by any means, and you're using simulated capital. So you can get an understanding of how it works. I also wanted to cover how EpicFlow.io handles the margin and risk management while you're in account autopilot mode. When you set up your account, you're going to define how much of your balance you're going to allocate to the platform to use. Again, it doesn't use everything all at once. What happens is it takes that amount. So let's say you had $100,000 and you said 60% of that I want to allocate to run. It will divide that 60% allocation across 4 bots or 5 bots or however many bots you have set up. And within each bot, it further gets divided into 4 phases, which is a fourth of the margin allocated for that bot. So it will continue to run. And as the phases increase by the margin utilization, so there's going to be automated backoffs and modification of the parameters to start slowing down some of the purchases if it continues to move against you. And as it progresses through the phases, that will continue to happen. And again, this is just to help reduce risk exposure. And if any one of the bots get into the 4th phase, which is 75% or more of the margin it was allocated, it will prevent the other bots from progressing into other stages as well. So the system as a whole monitors everything as well as each bot running independently to help manage your system. We want to limit your overall risk exposure. So this is designed to help keep your margin healthy and manage your account. No system can eliminate risk. There's going to be extreme market events that could result in losses, but we're going to do the best we can to help minimize that if it happens. So hopefully this gives you a better understanding of how things work on Account AutoPilot, and feel free to try it out and see how it works for you. Happy trading and see you next week.